I've got to go right away to the Fed Derby. Can Chairman Powell be a good chairman under crisis?
Well, maybe, but he certainly hasn't had an experience during crisis. I mean, he's been there for the past 5 years. His experience is really in private equity as a salesperson rather than investing. I'm not sure what he knows about the interworkings of the financial system. I would vote for Paul McCulley, ex-PIMCO. He's the one that brought us the Minsky moment. He's the one that basically saved PIMCO. He's the one that would have done a better job during the Lehman crisis. But Powell reminds me of G. William Miller, the last real economy chairman just before Volcker, and he didn't last long because he didn't know much.
Of course, not certitude that Mr. Powell will be selected, but certainly that is, I guess, the speculation is how I would put it, folks. Then with that, Bill Gross, we have to look at John Taylor and Janet Yellen. When you look at these two esteemed economists, how much do they cross over in their economics? How much do Chair Yellen and Professor Taylor overlap in their economics?
Well, I think a lot. I think both, Tom, are model-driven, perhaps different models. We know about the Taylor rule, which speaks to real interest rates relative to unemployment into what they call NAIRU, adjusted as it is. Yellen basically has been model-driven. She's, focused on several models as we've gone through her tenure. And so I think both are that. They are model-driven, and I would argue that model-driven Fed chairmen or Fed members are not what we need at the moment. We need a subjective type of Fed chairman that's able to look at structural factors such as demographics and debt and delevering and technology in terms of its influence on inflation going forward, as opposed to a Taylor model that looks at the past 20 to 25 years.